Hey, y'all. Welcome back to West Virginia Wire. Today, we're diving into a serious but necessary conversation, one that impacts our health, our wallets, and our nation's future. That's right. The headlines are clear. HIV is on the rise again in America. But the big question is, who's paying the price? We're talking top 10 U.S. cities with the highest HIV infection rates. And guess what? Many of them have millions in funding, outreach, and prevention programs. But the numbers are still going up. Now, here's where it gets controversial, because some are saying this is a preventable crisis with access to information, testing, PrEP, and safer sex resources at an all-time high. Why are infections increasing? Is it about awareness? Is it behavioral? Is there a breakdown in public health strategy? Or is someone profiting off keeping the problem going? Should taxpayers foot the bill for something that, if we're being honest, many say could be avoided? Or is this just another layer in America's broken healthcare system? And let's not ignore the disparities. Black and Latino communities are being hit the hardest. Is the funding really reaching those who need it most? So, we pulled clips from reports, including a segment from What It Looked Like TV to show you what's happening on the ground. But before we roll that, let us ask you this. Should public funding prioritize prevention over treatment? Is enough being done to address risky behavior, or are we dancing around hard truths? You guys, we're going to get into that and so much more today. We thank you for joining us. Please, if you haven't already gotten the biz out of the way, please hit that like, share, and subscribe. And most importantly, let us know what you're thinking. Let us know in the comments section, you guys. I've heard that commenting throughout the video helps keep the algorithm going. And I just consider y'all the algorithm. You're my audience. You're the algorithm. All right, without further ado, let's jump in. Feet first.
First off, I want to say we are not going to shame anybody in this video, because these people was brave enough to show their face to spread awareness to this cause, so maybe someone else won't get it.
Amen.
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 Today we're going to get into a serious topic, y'all. We're going to get into these rising HIV numbers that's going all the way across the country. And first off, I want to say we are not going to shame anybody in this video, because these people was brave enough to show their face to spread awareness to this cause, so maybe someone else won't get it.
Yeah, and I just wanted to make sure I played that. I did get the idea to do this because I think it's such an important topic to cover. He did a fantastic job in his video, so we're going to be referencing a lot, and I did use a lot of the same TikTok videos as well. It is a brave thing to come forward and being honest about it. What concerns me the most is, they talk about the resurgent rate and all of that. It's happened so fast. Those are the symptoms of the full-on, the AIDS virus stood for? Advanced Immune Disorder Syndrome or something. What is it called?
What the hell is even that?
You're absolutely right. It's a crucial topic. The term you're looking for is Acquired Immune Deficiency Syndrome, or AIDS. It's definitely alarming how fast these issues can escalate, and shedding light on it is so important. Your coverage will definitely help raise awareness and spark important conversations.
And she said just 1 month after she had this night out. Now, do we definitively know that that's where she got it from, was that one partner, that one night? We don't know. We don't know her history. She didn't share that or any of that. I think it's kind of unfair to say it's definitively from that one night if she's had multiple partners, because we know for it to escalate that fast, I mean, unless it's taken on a new life and it's going to be harder to get around. we're going to get into the discussion about the funding cuts for the HIV and acquired immune deficiency syndrome programs. And I'm going to give you my thoughts on what I think, whether they should be cut or should not be cut. All right, Mary Beth, you ready? Let's continue on in these stories.
Absolutely, Regina. I'm ready. Let's dive deeper into these stories and unpack all these layers. This is an important conversation, and your insights are going to be invaluable. Let's keep going.
And when she says your insight, she's speaking to you, the viewers, not just me, but mainly you. We want to hear from you. Do you know someone who's going through this? Do you know someone who's living a promiscuous lifestyle? And, I've had people in the comment section from other places where I've commented come and say, oh, well, marriage isn't a guarantee. I think that's the stupidest statement anyone has ever said. Nothing is a guarantee. What are we really guaranteed? That's my only statement on that one. Hopefully we find a partner that will be true and faithful to us, and that we will be true and faithful to as well. Anyway, let's continue on.
Exactly. It's all about having these real conversations and hearing from everyone out there. Let's keep the dialogue open and continue unpacking these stories. Ready when you are.
All right. We're getting ready to get into it.
STD rates in the United States are at an all-time high. These are the top 10 cities with the highest STD and HIV cases reported today. At number 10 is Jacksonville, Florida, with a total population of over 956,000 residents, 22% being African-American, 54% being Caucasian, and only 9.9% being Hispanic. At number 9 is New York City, New York, with a total population of over 8.5 million residents, 22.5% being Black, 34% being white, and 29% being Hispanic. At number 8 is Atlanta, Georgia, with a total population of over 500,000 residents, 56% of which are African-American, 40% being Caucasian, and only 4% Hispanic. They're number 8 when it comes to not only the highest cases of HIV reported today, but also STDs in America. At number 7 is Memphis, Tennessee, with a total population of over 628,000 residents, 79% of which are African-American, and only 14% Caucasian, and only 6% Hispanic. At number 6 is Baltimore, Maryland, with a total population of over 576,000 residents, 71% in which are Black, 15% are Caucasian, and only 9% Hispanic. At number 5 is Washington, D.C., with a total population of over 678,000 residents, 56% in which are African-American, 34% are Caucasian, and 18% are Hispanic. At number 4 is Jackson, Mississippi, with a total population of over 150,000 residents. 94% are African-American, 4% are Caucasian, and only 1% Hispanic. At number 3 is Baton Rouge, Louisiana, with a total population of over 222,000 residents, 67% of which are African-American, 30% are Caucasian, and only 3% Hispanic. At number 2 is New Orleans, Louisiana, with a total population of over 376,000 residents, 65% in which are African-American, 32% are Caucasian, and only 9% Hispanic. At number 1 is Miami, Florida, with a total population of almost 500,000 residents, 18% being African-American, 34% being Caucasian, and 37% being Hispanic. They are number 1 when it comes to the highest number of STD and HIV cases reported.
All right, you guys, that's Lucky Chucky over on TikTok. So if you guys saw that, I don't recall seeing Texas on that list. So Florida made the list twice. Number 1 coming in, number 1 and number 10. Jacksonville coming in at number 10 and Miami coming in at number 1. Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I was surprised not to see Las Vegas, Nevada on there.
I don't know what y'all got going on in the Houston area, but Black women in the Houston and surrounding areas, we have a problem. New studies are showing that all STDs, including HIV, is dangerously surging in the Houston and surrounding areas of all demographics of people, men and women, but primarily in Black women. Y'all check out this clip.
Sobering statistics tonight. New data from Harris County Health shows cases of HIV and other sexually transmitted infections are on the rise in our area and rising faster than anywhere else in Texas. Tonight, Matt Doherty looks at which parts of the city are seeing the highest rates of new cases. He joins us live tonight in West Houston. Matt?
Yeah, the study shows the rates of new cases are rising across the board, even among some diseases you may have thought were long gone.
HIV, syphilis, gonorrhea, chlamydia, all of those. So it's a big issue we have here in our community.
Legacy Health's Director of Health Navigation, Jill Johns, sits down to discuss what nobody wants to talk about.
A drip or a burning sensation when they pee or a discharge from their genitals.
Sexually transmitted infections.
Harris County and Houston in particular has been surpassing the rates of STIs in Texas.
Due to the lag for required reporting, the most recent data in the report covers the time period between 2016 and 2022. What it shows is alarming.
Between 2016 and 2022, the rates of syphilis in our area doubled, which is definitely concerning.
Here's a map of the zip codes where the rate of syphilis is the highest. Downtown, then Montrose, then the area near Old Spanish Trail. For chlamydia, the zip codes with the highest rates are the Medical Center area, LaPorte, and downtown.
Ages 15 to 24.
Then there's gonorrhea, which has an infection rate that is surging in the area of the Medical Center, followed by downtown, and then Sunnyside. The highest rates of new HIV cases were seen in Montrose, followed by the Second Ward, and then Setgas. Although the sexually transmitted infections are found in basically every demographic in Harris County, the study found that there is one population that is testing positive for them more frequently.
In particular, Black women. So Black women who are heterosexual are frequently getting STIs at a higher rate than other groups.
The best place to start is from a position of knowledge. Legacy Health offers free and confidential HIV and STI testing, and some results you can learn within minutes. In West Houston, I'm Matt Doherty, KHOU 11 News.
If you're in a Houston and surrounding area and you are a Black woman, get tested. Protect yourself.
And I would say if you're any woman or any human, get tested and maybe scale back partners. I'm going to give more of my opinion on that in just a moment. So let's head over to What It Looked Like TV. I'm not going to play all the footage of everything that I've come across because you guys, it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming and it's alarming. I'm simply putting it out there so that hopefully it brings awareness, right? So let's continue on.
I was HIV positive after noticing strange spots on my body and experiencing high fevers. It all started after a night out with my friend. I remember drinking a lot more than I should have. Things got so out of hand that I completely lost control of what I was doing. My friend tried to get me home safely, but we ended up arguing and she decided to leave. I stayed at the party with some other friends and eventually met this guy. He seemed fun and the last thing one remember was dancing and having a great time. The next morning, I woke up in his bed, confused and unable to recall most of the night. I left before he woke up, brushing it off like it was no big deal. I thought that night wouldn't have any consequences, but a month later, I started losing a lot of weight. I was constantly running a fever, had terrible headaches, and noticed strange spots appearing on my skin. That's when panic set in deep down, had a terrible feeling about what might have happened that night. I decided to go to the hospital, and that's when. Comment if you want to hear part 2.
I'm back with another one. And today we're going to get into a serious topic, y'all. We're going to get into these rising HIV numbers that's going all the way across the country. And first off, I want to say we are not going to shame anybody in this video because these people was brave enough to show their face to spread awareness to this cause, so maybe someone else won't get it.
Yeah, and I just wanted to make sure I played that. I did get the idea to do this because I think it's such an important topic to cover. He did a fantastic job in his video, so we're going to be referencing a lot. And I did use a lot of the same TikTok videos as well. It is a brave thing to come forward and being honest about it. What concerns me the most is, they talk about the resurgent rate and all of that. It's happened so fast. Those are the...
I am begging you to put yourself first and be safe out here when HIV is at an all-time high. I know that there was a TikTok story of a nurse saying that she had a patient who just moved to Houston and he's like, oh, I've been with all these DLs while their wives are away, while their girlfriends are away, and this and that, whatever. And HIV is at an all-time high right now.
Okay, so... is she meaning like husbands that are on the down low prefer they play for the same team? Is that what she's referring to? Is that what she means? Oh my.
And he was an older gentleman. And as soon as he comes in, he's like just making jokes about the whole thing. Like, oh, I need an STI panel, blah, 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 this and that. And I asked him, ID and insurance information. He's like, no insurance. It needs to be off the books. What do you mean it needs to be off the books? Like, who are you hiding from? Gets his stuff done, leaves, checks out. We have to collect payment. I ask him if he needs a receipt. He's like, no receipt. I don't need any proof.
Nice.
And there you have it. So, I mean, I guess it was pretty legitimate what people were saying in the comment section, that marriage doesn't guarantee anything. Wow. If you are not sure whether you like men or women and you are a man, please consider these things before you take someone else's choices away and enter into a marriage contract with them, right? If you have any inclination towards that, you should always be forthcoming with that and not be sneaking around and doing this ridiculousness behind someone's back. At the end of the day, what do we honor? What do we honor? What do you think, my lady? So we just watched some footage. The man, I guess, download these husbands like guys and don't like ladies, and they probably have children with these women that they've married and stuff like that. And in light of what's going on with Sean P. Diddy Daddy Diddler Itty Bitty Diddy Combs, you guys go check out Melanie King. It's real. The real Melanie King on YouTube. You guys go check her out. But anyway, it's crazy. What do you think, my lady?
It's definitely a complex and sensitive issue. Transparency and honesty are crucial in any relationship, especially when it comes to something as significant as marriage. It's not just about personal choices, but also about respecting your partner's right to know and make informed decisions. It's a reminder that communication and integrity should always be at the core of any commitment. And yeah, the revelations around public figures like Diddy only highlight how important these conversations are. Thanks for bringing that up, Regina.
And thanks for the brave people that continuously cover that, because it is hard to watch. We need to know what's going on in the world, which is why I watch it. I just choose not to cover it. All right, guys. Without further ado, let's continue on this craziness. So we're going to go back to our good friend, Mr. Varnell Hill, with What It Looked Like TV. And let's just see what he has to say. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this, you guys. So we're going to go back to Mr. Hill and see what he has to say.
And help the next person from making the same mistake they made. So with that being said, let's move on. You decided to go out, you had a wild night. What are some symptoms that you should be looking for in the near future that might tell you might need to go to the doctor?
I have not experienced anything worse than my HIV acute stage symptoms. There were plenty, but I'm only going to talk about 3 in this video. Starting off strong, the vomiting and diarrhea. That was my first symptom. That went on for about a week, every day. Then one day I woke up and I had this.
Oh my God.
Hundreds of little dots all over my arms, my legs, perhaps my back, literally everywhere. They didn't itch.
And the same thing happens when you have strep and stuff like that. You know, your body's reacting to trying to fight something off. I'll say it again. What alarms me the most is how quickly people are seeing symptoms after, you know, when they were doing the math and thinking back to when they could have gotten this. And some of the people on here, you know, believe that they were in monogamous relationships and they feel pretty confident of knowing where they got it from. Man, this is crazy.
And headaches, HIV is much more aggressive.
Symptoms of HIV look different in every single person. Usually 2 to 4 weeks after being in contact with HIV, people will develop an acute HIV infection. This infection typically looks like fevers. I had 105 fever for 7 days straight. This infection also looks like muscle aches, joint aches, fatigue, soreness. Swollen lymph nodes were a big thing for me.
So that's basically just about every symptom you could possibly think of. So let's get on to Mr. Hill.
Not trying to scare you to death. They even have medicines now that you can take if you've been exposed to it. They have medicine that you could take if you think you're going to be exposed to it. So it is a whole lot more options than it was when we was younger, but it's still nothing that you want to play with.
I am not living with HIV, but I have been taking HIV medications for the past month. Why? Well, recently I was performing a procedure on a patient who is living with HIV, and unfortunately I got a needle stick injury. Now, anyone who works in healthcare knows that we try to avoid these injuries.
Okay, I'm not going to even let her finish that, because I believe what's happening, why we're seeing the symptoms rage on as fast as they are, is because the disease has adapted and assimilated, and it's going to be much harder to get rid of or control the symptoms. Because remember, a lot of these medications are just controlling symptoms, right? So, and it must be slowing down the progression to some degree. Let's continue on.
So PEP consists of a complete HIV, not worried.
We should try to protect ourselves to the best of our ability. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm trying to help somebody possibly not get it, because it's proof all over TikTok that it's people living happy lives with HIV, and they're not even upset with the person that gave it to them.
So this is the guy that I got HIV from.
I already patented it. I am the
What the
infector.
hell is even that?
They did.
I am Infector Man.
Somebody said, "Did I resent you?" Yeah, of course.
Sure,
when I was first sick, yeah, of course.
Sure.
Haven't had sex in 6 years. You guys make me scared of it. Why?
Well, then don't have sex.
Right.
It can be scary.
They're doing it with the Botox and what.
CDC says it's identified the first documented cases of the disease transmitted through cosmetic needles. 3 women contracted the virus after getting the procedure at a now closed medical spa in New Mexico. If you aren't familiar, vampire facials use tiny needles to inject platelet-rich plasma from blood into your face. An investigation found the clinic reused disposable equipment, and at least 2 previous clients had tested positive for HIV before their visits to the spa.
I know you're probably thinking that that's a vampire facial, and that's New Mexico. I live nowhere near that. But if they're doing it with the vampire facials, I can guarantee you that they're doing it with the Botox and whatever else requires little needles.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I took from that. So be careful with that. Be careful with all this stuff that they got to go poke you with a needle, man, because they out here trying to sterilize and do stuff on their own, and it's not working. They just so happen to get caught in New Mexico. When you hear stuff like this on the news, don't ever think that I'm nowhere near there. It couldn't be us around here. You never know. Keep your radar open. But anyway, man, we done.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's about all I got, too. I mean, I just don't think there's any more to cover it. You guys, we know what causes it. We know how we get it. And, oh, there's so much to consider. You guys, tell me what you think in the comment section. You know, I'm going to say I'm grateful that I'm married. So we went through the symptoms, you know, how fast they come on, what they're like now. We also went through the... All right, y'all, we gave you the statistics. We gave you the symptoms. What do you think? Let us know what's going on in your state. We're in West Virginia. I'm going to look into this and see if there's anything. I know that there's a lot of drug addiction and problems like that here in West Virginia. I don't know if needles play a big part in that, but we also know that, you know, anything that takes away our logical mind and thinking, that, you know, we're susceptible to making poor choices. So what do you think, my lady? So we know, and I didn't even show you the video footage where they're talking about Pennsylvania now. So we know that Louisiana made it on the list twice. Florida made it on the list twice now. And with those statistics, they were talking, like, I'd heard the number 39,000 somewhere. In Texas, they're saying hundreds of thousands. So we've got Florida on the list twice, Louisiana on the list twice. And now they're saying Texas. Well, we know Texas was a country before it was, you know, part of the United States. So what does that speak to you guys? What do you think, Mary Beth, before we close out?
I think it really highlights how widespread and complex these issues are. The fact that multiple states, from Florida to Louisiana to Texas, are facing similar challenges shows it's not isolated to one regional cause. It also speaks to how interconnected these issues are with public health, policy, and community support systems. It's definitely a call for more comprehensive solutions. Thanks for diving into this with me, Regina.
And thank y'all for diving into this with us as our viewers. These are hard topics to cover, but they are things that do need to be discussed. No matter how small or big your platform is, I highly encourage, let's start spreading awareness. And I will give my final thought. My final thought is that I agree with the spending and funding cuts for HIV and the acquired immune deficiency syndrome disease that's out there. And I'll tell you why. It's very preventable, very preventable. This is something, it's between a necessity and a luxury, right? It's a necessity, it's between a need and a want. There, so you make the decision, you make the choice. I feel bad for you if you are out there dating in 2025, but I don't feel bad for you because what are we looking for? What are you looking for? All right, you guys, I hope you have a great day. Thanks for joining us. My name is Regina Connell, and tell everybody bye, my lady, and tell them we will see them on the flip-flop.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time on the flip-flop.
The flip-flop. Okay, thanks very much.
Join the crowd. West Virginia,